yes, Liverpool win 4-1 against Barnsley from League One. I don't know whether you can hear, but the mowers are out already. They're mowing the grass, they're not messing around here. The team's just got in and the mowers are out, but that's not what you're here for. You're here for match reaction, of course. My match reaction is, you know what, I feel quite good after that. And I didn't feel great throughout a lot of the first half, to be honest with you. I don't think we started particularly well. I thought it was going to be one of those long nights, really, seeing the way there was 5 or 6 at the back. Sometimes for Barnsley, the lowest of low blocks, and yeah, Liverpool just stuck to the task, carried on, and then Szoboszlai hit an absolute wonder goal from about 35 yards maybe. Keeper had absolutely no chance, and he puts us 1-0 up. And from there I thought Liverpool did all right, and wasn't that long later that Alexis McAllister gets maybe his 2nd assist of the night for Frimpong. 2 of the easiest assists you're ever going to get. I think that's right, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, Frimpong cuts inside, uses his wrong foot, his left foot, and smashes the ball into the roof of the net, and it's a good finish by him. And those performances over the last sort of few weeks have really been improving, haven't they? And listen, I don't know, defensively I don't think he had the best game against that number 19. It was tricky as anything, but going forwards he was a bit of a revelation again, and we've seen the best of Jeremy Frimpong going forward so far this season, haven't we? And then Szoboszlai, wow, I mean, I don't know what the hell he was thinking, and whether he tipped or slid or decided he was going to try and do him or what, but it was an all-timer. Me and the fellas next to me were talking about Jimmy Traore and Burnley all those years ago, and it might be the worst since then, to be honest with you. He looked perplexed. I had my head in my hands. Everyone on my row had their head in their hands. It was just a terrible mistake. Thankfully that we just put that behind him. And one thing I will say about tonight's sort of system and shape, I really like the little switch of Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones, because I think Arne Slot recognised it was going to be the lowest of low blocks, and maybe switching the ball was key to Liverpool getting in behind them with Frimpong, and Szoboszlai playing deeper. His little range of passing's a little bit better, so I thought that worked really well, and Jones in those tight spaces looked good as well at times. And then we move on to the second half, and it was all Liverpool really. Don't get me wrong, like Mamardashvili made a couple of good saves during this game, but 90% of it felt like it was just Liverpool. And then we get the third, don't we, and Wirtz, and it's pretty late to be fair, but it's an absolutely brilliant move. I think I don't know how many passes there were, 20, 30, 40, your guess is as good as mine. But yeah, I just thought, the touch by Ekitike to Florian Wirtz, he just missed a sitter as well. So for him to then whip one in the top bin like it was dead easy, brilliant. And then finally, obviously, Wirtz gets in behind the defence and whips a good ball in, returns the favour to Hugo Ekitike, and it's 4-1. And it's as simple as that, really, but it didn't feel like as simple as that, did it, throughout the course of the game. But listen, ultimately our name's in the hat. We're playing Brighton at home in the FA Cup, 4th round, and that's all that matters. And it was interesting to see Slot go with a very strong side, and it was interesting that the subs were very strong and everything else, and that's a good thing. People put a shift in, people worked hard, and ultimately we get the result that the performance probably deserved at the end of it. So listen, we move on and we're in the next round, and hopefully we're putting a better performance at the weekend against Burnley, and we'll see where we go from there. So yeah, it's just, there's nothing to write home about. No one's going to talk about that incredible 4-1 win against Barnsley in more than a month's time, but Wirtz gets a goal and assist, Szoboszlai gets a goal and an assist, McAllister gets a couple of assists, and Ekitike gets a goal back in the side, and that's all it's about, isn't it? It's about players getting confidence, it's about players getting better, it's about players, starting to play with each other and understanding how to play a low block. And yeah, Barnsley weren't the best tonight, but they worked damn hard for it. They should be proud of themselves. Their fans are really good as well. Really liked hearing them. I haven't seen them for a long time. Probably before I was actually regularly coming to the game. Barnsley were in the Premier League, so yeah, fair play to them. pretty happy with that all told, and it didn't look like it was going to be like that for all of the 90 minutes. You know, it looked like it could have been a little bit of a struggle because Liverpool were letting them in at times, but we move on and we win 4-1, so yeah, let's go.